So no E3 this year, probably no Nintendo Direct this year, a weak sort of Sony conference that we had earlier. What was Summer Game Fest gonna bring to the table? Jeff Keighley's ego-stroking events with things like Summer Game Fest, and of course the Game Awards happening where Jeff gets all the spotlight on him. I'm just kidding. You know, I don't hate Jeff. You know, if people think I got beef with him, I just would do things differently with the show, but I understand at the end of the day, it is a bit of a business, but I usually am kind of perceived as a bit of a negative Nelly when it comes to things like this. But without any E3 being available this year, I was hopeful for this show. We got a lot of interesting announcements, some things I was actually genuinely excited for, some things that I was questioning a bit, and at the end of this, we're gonna give the showcase a letter grade, because I usually don't do stuff like that, but maybe that'll give you incentive to stick around till the end of the video. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, screw meat and potatoes, because we got to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Domino's Pizza. I'm hungry, but everything's so expensive nowadays, though. What do I want to eat? 50% off all menu priced pizzas. Whether you like a traditional thin crust pepperoni pizza, or maybe you want to get a little bit adventurous and have a barbecue chicken and green pepper pizza, which is absolutely delicious, Domino's has you covered right now between now and June 11th with 50% off of all menu pizza prices on their website. Sniff your pizza, enjoy your pizza, and stock up on your pizza and have leftovers, and take advantage of Domino's 50% off right now. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to Domino's.com to get 50% off all menu priced pizzas right now. And a huge thank you to Domino's for sponsoring today's video. All right, so I'm going to talk about the things that I liked, talk about the things that I didn't like, and like I said, give it a letter grade at the end of this event. So to kick things off, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, great way to start off the show. You know, I don't think anyone was expecting a 2.5D-ish Prince of Persia Metroidvania style game, but the more you think about it, the more it makes perfect sense for this to actually be a thing. This will be coming out on all platforms. It's scheduled to release on January 18th. It is, however, an Ubisoft game, so keep that in mind when you're talking about the release date of this, because it could end up being a bit later. But I was genuinely impressed by this. I really like the graphical style. The Metroidvania elements, I think, are going to make it pretty fun. Kind of a bit questionable with the soundtrack. I know it was Kendrick Lamar, but it's like, I don't really think of Kendrick Lamar when I think of the Prince of Persia, but hey, it's video games in 2023. We're going to do some stuff that doesn't make sense. So I'm definitely looking forward to Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and it kind of gave me hope that the rest of the show would be really good. And I mean, there were some highlights and there were some lowlights, but the next announcement was something really good as well with Mortal Kombat 1. Not a huge fan of the name of the game, but there's been so much, you know, questions because this is supposed to be a reboot for the franchise, kind of starting from the ground up, and it looks like Mortal Kombat 12. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. It looks like Mortal Kombat 12. It still has that same sort of slightly janky animation style that Mortal Kombat 11 has. Not that I'm saying that that animation style is bad or anything like that. I'm actually kind of accustomed to it, but it feels very familiar, and I was kind of expecting something a bit bigger in terms of a change when it comes to something like this, but I did think the game looked awesome. The cameo characters, of course, are very interesting. They're essentially like tag team partners, but you don't swap them out. You can summon them at certain times as long as the meter is full, and they will come in and do some attacks for you. It looks like there's going to be cameo characters from all sorts of Mortal Kombat eras, because the original Mortal Kombat was well represented with Sonya and Kano in their Mortal Kombat original, I guess we have to call that game now, in that dress style. Jax from Mortal Kombat 2 was shown in it as well, so I think that'll be very interesting. Goro was another character in there. It looks cool. You know, they're obviously rebooting the story as well, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero and our brothers instead of mortal enemies and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with the game, but definitely another highlight of the show for me. I am a Mortal Kombat fan, kind of a bit more of an old school Mortal Kombat fan, but definitely a fan of the franchise, so this was very cool to see. We had some other stuff get sort of announced here. Ryu versus dinosaurs for Exoprimal. They're smoking that good over at Capcom, Jesus Christ. But then, completely out of nowhere, Chris Chan started to feel something inside of them, and they were like, wait a minute, something's happening, because Sonic Superstars was announced, a 2D Sonic game, brand new, And you know what? I'm on board. And you guys know I'm a Sega fanboy. Like, I like Sonic. I even liked Sonic Forces a little bit. Like, I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. So I am 120% on board with Sonic Superstars. Other characters from Sonic games are going to be in there, like Tails, Knuckles, Amy Rose. Some other characters made cameos in there. I don't really know what the story of the game is, but it looks like classic 2D Sonic gameplay with some other elements thrown into it as well. Very bright visual style. It kind of looked a bit like Sonic the Hedgehog 4, so I thought maybe this was Sonic the Hedgehog 5, which I hope it doesn't play like Sonic the Hedgehog 4, but you know what? I'm on board with this. Give me more Sonic the Hedgehog. We got Sonic Origins Plus coming out this month, and now we have Sonic Superstars coming out in fall of 2023 for all platforms, so I'll probably check out the Switch version of the game, because if I review the Switch version of the game, it's going to get double the views that the PlayStation version would. I don't know why. It's just that way. Another game that I really enjoyed seeing at this presentation was Alan Wake 2. I wasn't the hugest, I liked Alan Wake 1. I really liked Alan Wake 1 until the ending of the game. And then I was kind of like, nah, you know, okay, whatever. And then Alan Wake 2, though, kind of looks like a bit of a departure from the original game. We learned that you'll be playing as two different characters, a writer character and an FBI agent. And the gameplay style looks a bit different. It looks kind of more like a Resident Evil style gameplay system, but I like that. I was kind of expecting the original Alan Wake to be more Resident Evil-y, and it kind of really wasn't. So I think the slower gameplay might suit the game a little bit better. They did show some gameplay from this, and that's something that I want to mention with you guys. They did a really good job of showing gameplay during this whole event. You know, that was kind of like the focal point. There wasn't many CGI trailers out there for you know, more of the bigger games and stuff like that. Every bigger game, every bigger title like Sonic Superstars, the Prince of Persia game, Mortal Kombat, it was all about gameplay. So I thought that was a really good thing. You know, that's kind of something that is a bit of a lost art in these presentations. But yeah, Alan Wake 2 looks really cool. Spider-Man 2 even was here. Somehow Jeff Keighley got the release date of Spider-Man 2 when the Sony presentation did it. Somehow Jeff Keighley got confirmation of Venom being in Spider-Man 2 when Sony didn't. I don't know how you pulled it off, Jeff. You know, using those industry connections. But honestly, they didn't show any new gameplay. They showed the same gameplay and some concept art, which I thought that was kind of lame. Like, show me Venom in this game, but they did give a release date. The game will be coming out on October 20th. So PlayStation 5 owners, you know, we definitely got something great to look forward to with this game. I'm super excited for it. You guys know that Spider-Man is my favorite Sony franchise right now. I can't get enough of it. It's like Sonic. I can't get enough Sonic. I can't get enough Spider-Man. So definitely looking forward to this. And then there was a bunch of crap. There was a lot of crap on this show, and it's traditional Jeff Keighley crap. You know, some advertisements, some Hollywood people. We had Nicolas Cage there talking about being in Dead by Daylight, and I'm like, oh Christ, Jeffrey, what are you doing to me? We were going so well. We had such a good thing going on, and then you did this. But honestly, you know, it was just annoying. Things like that are annoying. A Porsche themed Xbox. I don't think a lot of people watching this presentation are big into Porsche to the point of where they're like, shit, man, I really need this Xbox that's Porsche themed. There were a lot of games that I weren't interested in. A lot of games that either were like medieval or space games. That seems to be the new sort of thing. And if you're a medieval game, you're probably running on Unreal Engine 5. I'm going to need some developers in the comment section down below to tell me, is Unreal Engine 5 just very easy to work with as far as medieval games are concerned? Because they kept showing off these medieval style games and all of them were Unreal Engine 5. And I just felt like, you know, there has to be some correlation here. But they ended it on a banger, much like they started things with a banger. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This, I didn't expect to be there. I didn't expect to be there. I didn't expect to see gameplay from this. I didn't expect to get a time release window from this. And I got all of those things. And you know, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy VII fan in the world, but I really enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I've been waiting to play the second half. You know, I've been waiting to get outside of the city of Midgar, and now we're going to be able to do it. The gameplay that they showed off looked absolutely gorgeous. I almost feel like they were waiting for the PlayStation 5 to come out before releasing this, and we'll talk about why in just a moment. But all your traditional characters were there. Obviously, some things are going to be different from the main source material, as they are taking some liberties with sort of retelling the story. A bunch of different environments were shown, though, a bunch of different special attacks. It even looked like there were some tag team attacks in this as well. Very, very cool stuff. But we even got a release window for this of early 2024, and I was like, wow. Final Fantasy 16 hasn't even come out yet, and you're talking about a release window for this. But here's the kicker. It's on 2 discs. It is on 2 PlayStation 5 discs. This is only a PlayStation 5 game. How big is this game? Like, how big is this game? It has to be absolutely massive, because I don't think any of us expected a PlayStation 5 game to need multiple discs already in the system's life cycle. But here we are with Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and it's like, wow, like this is going to be a freaking huge game. Like Square Enix is going balls out right now with Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth coming out in less than a year of each other, assuming that we hit this early 2024 release date. But the amount of gameplay that they showed definitely leads me to believe that this is very far along in development. So the show started out really good. It ended really well, but there was a lot of bull in the middle. There was a lot of crap in the middle, a lot of stuff that I wasn't interested in. But kind of taking a step back and just looking at things as a whole, yes, these games might have not interested me, but at least most of them were gameplay. At least most of them were, you know, actual how you'll be experiencing this game should you be into it. And I understand that different people are into different styles of games. The surprises were pretty surprising. You know, they might not have been huge AAA stuff, like the Prince of Persia game. That's not a huge AAA thing. The Sonic game, it's not a huge AAA thing, but it's a AA, and it's stuff that we didn't expect. So I got to give Jeff a little bit of credit. If you're watching this, Jeff, because I know you do usually watch my reviews of your show, I'm going to give you arguably the highest grading I've ever given you for a show. I'm going to go with a C+. A C+, maybe a B-, but I'm feeling more so a C+, a slightly above average show. And I enjoyed it more than I did other shows. Yes, there was some crap in there, but you did good with the announcements, and you showed gameplay, and you got that Spider-Man 2 release date. I don't know how the hell you did that, but yeah, those are my thoughts on Summer Games Fest. You know, it wasn't the best show ever. It definitely didn't, it didn't say, oh, well, this is a great substitute from E3, because if you take all of the presentations from E3, pick all the best announcements from everyone's presentation and put them in a show, it would absolutely murder this show. But Jeff did what he had to do, you know, and he probably tried to get some stuff going here. So I didn't hate the show. I did not hate the show, and I usually come away very angry, like I wasted my time watching this show. Which this show, I don't feel like that. I feel like I actually got a decent value for my time. So let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this. Obviously, when I'm streaming it with SpawnWave and you guys are in the chat, it does make it a little bit better. I will be on John's channel for the Xbox presentation on Sunday, so don't be looking out for me to stream that. We're going to stream that over on John's channel. Huge thank you to Domino's for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in the description box down below. There's a link that'll just track it so they know that I sent you there, but there's no coupon codes or anything. 50% off all menu price pizzas. I ate way too much pizza the past 2 days, and you know, hey, at least I'm on blood pressure medicine now. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.